It might seem strange to say this, but we just might be witnessing the downfall of Kylian Mbappe at Real Madrid. Yes, we've seen Mbappe shine on the biggest stages, his stunning performances in the Champions League, his brilliance for France in their World Cup winning campaign, and even his hat trick in the 2022 World Cup final. Yet now, week after week, he's dropping performances that are frankly painful to watch. Take Real Madrid's recent clash against Athletic Bilbao. It was a must-win game. A victory would have put them just 1 point behind Barcelona with a game in hand. The stakes couldn't have been higher. When Madrid earned a penalty to equalize, Mbappe stepped up. And what did he do? He missed. Again, this isn't an isolated incident. 2 huge games, 2 missed penalties, countless missed chances. At this point, Madrid fans would probably rather see anyone else take those spot kicks. Anyone. Mbappe's struggles since moving to Madrid have been glaring, and the question is, why? Just a few seasons ago, Mbappe was that guy. He was football's golden boy, delivering masterclasses for PSG and cementing his place as the next global superstar. By 2024, after just 7 seasons at PSG, he became their all-time top scorer, with 255 goals in 305 games, surpassing legends like Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Edinson Cavani. His stats were mind-blowing, his dominance undeniable. So when Real Madrid finally signed him on a free transfer this past summer, expectations were through the roof. Madrid fans dreamed of an unstoppable attack with Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, and Jude Bellingham, last season's MVP and Ballon d'Or contender. On paper, it was a dream team, but reality hasn't lived up to the hype. Sure, Mbappe had a decent start, scoring in the Super Cup final and delivering a solid performance against Mallorca. But since then, it's been a steady decline. No impact against Valladolid, invisible against Las Palmas. These aren't powerhouse teams. These are games where a 200 million player should dominate. And while there was a glimmer of hope when he scored 2 goals against Real Betis, including 1 brilliant strike, that form quickly faded. As of now, Mbappe has 10 goals in 20 games this season. Not terrible for most players, but for Mbappe, that's underwhelming. Worse still, the majority of those goals have come from penalties. His ability to score from open play seems to have vanished, which is mind-boggling for a player who netted 52 goals in his final season at PSG. So what's going wrong? One major factor is his position. Mbappe has always thrived as a left winger, where he can use his explosive pace and cutting-edge movement to devastating effect. But Real Madrid already has a left-wing superstar, Vinicius Jr. Under Carlo Ancelotti, Vinicius has been one of the world's best players, even coming close to winning the Ballon d'Or. Benching him or shifting him out of position was never an option. That left Mbappe forced into the number 9 role, a position he openly complained about during his time at PSG. Predictably, the results have been disastrous. Mbappe looks uncomfortable, out of rhythm, and out of sync with the team. The El Clasico against Barcelona was a prime example of just how badly things have gone. In a high-stakes match, Mbappe was caught offside 8 times. Yes, 8. For a player of his caliber, that's almost unheard of. It's a clear sign of his struggles to adapt to the role and the team's system. Ultimately, it feels like Mbappe's move to Real Madrid hasn't just been a tactical mismatch, it's been a psychological burden. He joined with sky-high expectations, carrying the weight of his reputation and a massive legacy to build. But instead of soaring, he's been suffocating under that pressure. Is it too late for Mbappe to turn things around? Absolutely not. The talent is still there, and he's surrounded by world-class teammates. But unless Madrid figures out how to unleash him in his natural role, or unless Mbappe learns to adapt and evolve his game, we might just be witnessing one of the most shocking declines in modern football history. For a player like Kylian Mbappe, one of the fastest in the world, clocking speeds of 38 kilometers per hour, being caught offside as often as he is feels almost impossible. Players with his speed don't need to gamble on the offside line. If he's 10 or 20 meters behind defenders like Inigo Martinez or Koundé, he should still reach the ball. Yet in El Clasico, Mbappe was caught offside 8 times. That's not just a tactical issue, it's a lack of awareness. This highlights a deeper problem. The number 9 role doesn't suit him. Mbappe has always thrived on the left wing, where he can exploit space, run at defenders, and cut inside to devastating effect. But Real Madrid's left flank belongs to Vinicius Jr., arguably their best player this season and one of the top wingers in the world. Forcing Mbappe into a central striker role has only exposed his discomfort, even when given the chance to play on the left wing. Like in the Champions League against Liverpool, Mbappe's struggles continued. Carlo Ancelotti reshuffled the lineup, even using Brahim Diaz as a false nine to accommodate him, but Mbappe still couldn't deliver. Against Connor Bradley, a 21-year-old stand-in for the injured Trent Alexander-Arnold, Mbappe failed to complete a single successful take-on. For a player of his stature, that's a glaring failure. Mbappe's finishing has also been uncharacteristically poor. While he's produced moments of brilliance, such as his goals against Celta Vigo and Getafe, those highlights are overshadowed by missed opportunities. Against Barcelona, Mbappe had clear chances but failed to convert. Even the one goal he scored was ruled offside. Then there was the sitter he missed against Getafe, rounding the goalkeeper only to roll it past the far post. Moments like these don't just frustrate fans, they can shatter a player's confidence. And that lack of confidence seems to have peaked in Madrid's biggest games, like the must-win match against Liverpool, where Mbappe also missed a crucial penalty. It's not just about individual performances. Mbappe's arrival has disrupted Madrid's balance. Last season, the team thrived with a 4-3-1-2 formation. Jude Bellingham, playing as a number 10, had the freedom to make late runs into the box, scoring goals at a rate that made him the team's MVP. But this season, to accommodate Mbappe, Madrid has shifted formations. In some games, they play a 4-4-2 with Mbappe and Vinicius as the two strikers, while Bellingham and Rodrigo play as wide midfielders. In other games, they use a 4-3-3 with Mbappe, Vinicius, and Rodrigo leading the attack, forcing Bellingham into a deeper midfield role. These changes have hurt the team's cohesion. Vinicius and Rodrigo still thrive on the flanks, but Bellingham's influence has waned. His incredible goal-scoring form from last season has dropped off, and while he still performs as a midfielder, fans now expect him to replicate last season's brilliance. Without those goals, Madrid's attack feels less potent, and it all ties back to Mbappe's inability to hit the ground running. It's not entirely fair to place all the blame on Mbappe. Transitioning to a new league is never easy. After years dominating Ligue 1 with Monaco and PSG, La Liga presents a new level of physicality and tactical discipline. Building chemistry with new teammates, especially in a system where he's playing out of position, takes time, even for a player of his caliber. But the problem is that Mbappe's own brilliance has set expectations sky high. Anything less than perfection feels like failure. The pressure isn't limited to Madrid either. This season, Mbappe has faced criticism on the international stage with France. From captaining a 3-1 home loss to controversial reports claiming he skipped 2 games to focus on the Ballon d'Or race, Mbappe's reputation has taken hits from multiple angles. Right now, it feels like Mbappe is caught in a vicious cycle. The more he struggles, the more pressure mounts, and the harder it becomes to deliver. But there's still time to turn things around. If Mbappe can adapt, find his form, and start delivering consistently, the entire team's energy will shift. Vinicius, Rodrigo, and Bellingham will thrive, and Madrid's attack can return to its peak. The next few months are critical. Can Mbappe rise to the challenge, silence his critics, and re-establish himself as the superstar Madrid signed him to be? Or will his struggles continue, leaving him as one of the most high-profile disappointments in recent history? One thing is certain, the world is watching, and the clock is ticking.